Hey, In and Out, have you checked out this guy's lettuce yet? You guys might have seen him on TikTok or Instagram with that exact call out. Hey, In and Out, have you seen this lettuce for your protein wraps? Since then, he has become kind of a viral sensation in the ag space, educating consumers, growers, and everywhere in between about the quality of the seed and Seedway, the company he works for, or educating consumers about where their food comes from. Although I don't think the In-N-Out deal has worked out quite yet, he's still trying for it every single day. Well, today on The Toast, we have Zach Wortiska with us talking a little bit about educating our consumers, about Seedway, and about his career path that he's chosen over the last 10 to 15 years in the industry. Thanks for coming on the show, Zach.
What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Zach, and that's my tagline. Every opening video that I do, that's how I open it up.
So we got to put that on a t-shirt.
I think so, a t-shirt or a hat.
Sweet. So Ag Center is 50% owner in that. This is a verbal commitment, and all the listeners, we get 50% of the full rev share.
Yep. Okay, let's do it.
Is that a fair deal?
I'm good with it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Sweet. So people might know you from that video. I think that one, you know the exact number probably. 1 million, 5 million. How many views does that one have?
Yeah, I think it's 1.7 million views on that.
And we're hoping to double it after this show.
We're gonna blow it up. We're gonna blow it up. That way we can get the In-N-Out deal.
There we go. So you came out saying, "Hey, In-N-Out, check out this lettuce," because Seedway, and you felt like this was a great variety for protein wraps. And since then, I think you started in the social media space before then, but I think that was the real video that popped off, at least on my feed, and how I got engaged with Seed Farm Table.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I posted that video. Just, I'm out in the field, walking fields every day, looking at varieties, looking at new genetics, and I cut this lettuce variety, and I've seen it for this last year multiple times, and I thought, man, this would be perfect for the protein wraps. For In-N-Out, for PF Chang's, for whoever does protein wraps, this lettuce would be perfect for it. So I cut it that day. It was perfect lighting behind me. It was a perfect view. My jawline was great that day, and I thought I had to post a video trying to get In-N-Out's attention for it. So.
You were doing jaw exercises
like
3 weeks before then?
Trying to get ready for it.
Your wife's like, just talk to me. Stop doing that crap you're doing over there.
Can't do it.
That's funny. So people might have seen you from there, but I don't know if everyone fully knows your background, right? And so born and bred Bakersfield.
Yep.
Then went off to Cal Poly. Just tell me a little bit, a 30,000-foot view, who Zach is.
Yeah, born and raised Bakersfield there. Went to Cal Poly for college. Did agricultural business and concentration in farm management. While I was at Cal Poly, I started a fraternity there called ZBT, Zeta Beta Tau. I had a friend that started this fraternity in a different college, UCLA, and his brother started it at Long Beach, and he came to me. He said, "Hey, man, you're at Cal Poly. This fraternity's not there. You should do the same thing." And I kind of joked around, "Yeah, it's not going to happen." And I kind of got to thinking, man, this is something I could do. I was in the student leadership in middle school and high school and all the way through, and I just felt like this was something that I wanted to be a part of. And so we got it started. It was 15 of us when I first started. When I graduated, it was 15 guys. And today it's one of the largest fraternities on Cal Poly campus. So, I'm proud about it, but it wasn't easy at the beginning. It was, trying to convince a school to allow another fraternity on campus and trying to, get other guys on board about this new fraternity and becoming a part of the organization. And, I kind of relate it back to what I'm doing today at Seedway is I'm building the brand, I'm building the company out here in California and Arizona and on the West Coast. And it's all about, looking for the right people that are part of the team, have the same qualities, and can really go out, and share the same vision that I do.
So a lot of fraternities, like AGR, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys know that's like the ag fraternity where
Yep.
guys go. It's kind of different at every college, I guess. And at like Fresno State, where I went, SAE tended to be also like the secondary ag fraternity. I don't know if it's the same way at Cal Poly, being SAE that way, but was there like a focus point of the kind of type of members you were trying to recruit into ZBT? Was it business majors everywhere?
No, I mean, honestly, I wanted to start this fraternity because my friend did it at a different school, but also because I wanted to create something that was unique and different. So my goal wasn't to get the same type of person, the same type of look or anything. No, I wanted all different backgrounds, all different majors, and that's what we did. And people that fit, what we were looking for, and being a part of the same organization is for me, man, that was key, because we had all these different backgrounds and connections. And to today, I still am very close with all those, founding members of those guys. And again, they're in agriculture or construction or, different parts of the industry that hopefully one day or my friends can relate to, in trying to go out and find a job, or maybe one of my kids, can have a connection with one of their kids. And again, it's something that was awesome to be a part of. And, again, I relate it back to what I'm doing today.
So when you started ZBT, did you see that there was like something missing in the fraternity scene then at Cal Poly?
No, I just wanted to create something by myself, man. I've always been just a driven individual that's wanted to do something different, to stand out and to make my own, kind of carve my own path, I guess, right? And this was a way to do it with the fraternity and create something that wasn't there already.
Please tell me, do they have a house in Cal Poly?
They do now, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Please tell me that, like, right when they walk in, there's this beautiful hand-painted portrait of Zach and the founding fathers.
That's me right there with a cigar, a glass of whiskey, and my dog right there.
It kind of looks like a Wolf of Wall Street
Yeah,
scene,
exactly.
right? You're like, man, this guy
Yep.
is the founding father of not this nation, but this fraternity.
Yes, yeah, man, it's fun. Actually, I've been back a few times, and some of the kids will come up to me, man, you changed my life. You started this fraternity, and I wouldn't. Who knows where I'd be today? But so it's kind of cool just to be a part of something like that, because again, it's just something that's different and everybody doesn't get to experience. So,
and it's now helped you moving into your career, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right? Like, you built this fraternity. It's not simple. I'm sure there's a lot of
Yep.
stamps of approval that you need. There's
Yep.
a lot of meetings that happen. There's probably people out there not wanting another fraternity on
right?
campus.
Yep.
So you get a little bit of the hatred.
Yep.
But,
oh yeah.
I'm sure it's helped you propel in your business side
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. I take those experiences that I had with, we had to meet with, the faculty of Cal Poly and the different, parts of the school and the different fraternities, and try to explain to them, why I wanted to bring a new fraternity on campus. And again, I relate it back to what I'm doing right now, and creating, a brand of Seedway out here on the West Coast, and building a team, that can, have this experience and quality and really help growers out here.
Have you seen those red and blue trucks rolling down the 99 or the 5 freeway all around the state? Well, they're delivering the best compost around. If you haven't gotten your compost orders in this year, make sure to get connected with Kane Trucking through the Ag Center. Get the highest quality compost, the best trucking service in the Valley today. Like Paul Barcelos always says, you call, we haul. So from seed to farm table, right? That's
Yeah.
your name. What is Seedway as a company?
Yeah, so Seedway as a company, one of the largest, seed companies in the U.S., and very big on the East Coast. We have a full seed line division, so we have our vegetable seed division, we have our turf seed, we have farm seed, we have our wild genetics, which is, different blends of seeds for the hunter out there that they can plant, food crops or different parts, on their property. But yeah, I mean, Seedway is a big seed company. About 5 years ago, they bought a smaller seed company here on the West Coast that was called Champion Seed. They had locations in California. They had Coachella, Bakersfield, Texas, Mexico, and Idaho. So when Seedway made the move out west, they purchased that whole, all of those different locations, and became Seedway to try to make the move out west. So that's kind of how it opened up me to come to Seedway. One of the guys retired, had the position open up, and so they kind of reached out to me and asked, hey, would you be willing to help us kind of build a brand out here and create Seedway in these areas? And I said, well, heck yeah, that's something I like to do. Again, it's been a part of me to carve out some, my own ways and build teams and do something different. And so I felt, just kind of compelled to do that.
So you're building a team for Seedway then out here. How many people do you have with Seedway on the Western U.S.?
So there's 3 of us, or there's 4 of us here in California.
Okay.
And then we have a couple guys up in the Pacific Northwest.
Central Coast as well?
Yep.
They kind of go. So do you work on the Central Coast a lot as well?
Yeah. So I cover. I manage the California and Arizona region for Seedway. So the whole area is, we're traveling and trying to cover. So again, a lot of the same growers that are on the coast or Central Valley are farming down there during that winter time. So there's kind of a couple different seasons. There's like more of a fall season in the valley. then a winter season that's down in the desert, and then kind of a spring summer season that comes back up to the valley and to the coast.
What do you see as the major differences in farming between the valley and the coast to going down to Yuma or the Imperial Valley?
Everybody each company kind of has their own, practices that they use and their secrets that they keep to themselves, as far as doing something a little bit different. But the water's a little bit different down there from, how it is up here on the coast. There's a lot of, there's a lot of different, I guess, more, there's transplants that are going on everywhere, which we deal with. There's direct seed everywhere. So it just depends on, again, what the farmer's looking for, and, trying to grow their crops.
You said the water's a lot different down there. Are you meaning by just the quality of water, the quantity? Because they have access to, the All-American Canal, is that it?
Yep.
So they have access to that, which I know the last few years has kind of dwindled.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of years, when we were having hardships in the valley and the drought, Imperial Valley in that area still tended to have some water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they still are in good shape as far as water, but these last few years there are starting to become more restrictions on the water amounts that they can get down in that area.
Do you see a lot of guys bring up issues like Sigma down there? Or because that's obviously this year, everyone knows it's here is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation is quieted a little bit on it.
Yeah.
But every guy here was worried about Sigma for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Down there, are they having that same type of, my ground's in white area?
I don't hear as much conversation down there, and maybe that is going on. I haven't heard it going on. But, again, going back to kind of the way they watering is kind of what I was talking about. A lot of that stuff is maybe furrow irrigated, or a lot of the stuff in these other areas are sprinkler irrigated or drip. So because they have access to the different canals that kind of run through the Imperial Valley, they're able to furrow irrigate some of those crops where other areas are using different methods for the irrigation.
Do you see that as like a benefit down there?
I think there's benefits to that, but it just depends on certain crops too. I think, something about sprinkler irrigation, you're able to get a really uniform irrigation in a matter of just a few minutes by turning on, your water. Furrow, it takes a longer process. You got to get that water all the way across your field. And so it just depends on what you're growing, and how that affects your watering type, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really deal with furrow irrigation around here so much.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I spend so much time in permanent crops, right?
Yeah.
Almonds, grapes, pistachios, you don't really see that. No one's flood irrigating really anymore.
Yeah.
Around here. When it comes to being able to use like fertilizers in your water, are you still able to do that with furrow irrigation?
I'm not exactly sure if they can do that in the furrows or not. I have no idea.
Yeah. I have no idea either. I imagine because they used to flood, but I wonder how that system works. I guess I'm just too young in the industry to remember back 20 years ago.
I would assume that they can, because they're still hooked up on pumps and everything like that, and I'm sure you could probably run it still through those irrigation systems.
Yeah. I wonder what the distribution looks like through those though.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, maybe we'll start another trial here.
Yeah, let's
do
it.
Go back to the seed day, right?
Yeah.
Of manufacturing.
Exactly.
So I'm sure you're traveling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got a really strong family behind you. You said that you're married. You got 3 kids.
Yep.
So when you're not on the road selling seed, looking at trials, working with growers, you're back home in Bakersfield with your family?
Yep, back home in Bakersfield. Again, married. I got 3 kids. It's the fun and the crazy though, dude. It's it's nonstop because I'm on the road. Then when I come back, it's nonstop with 3 crazy kids. So it's tiring whether I'm at work or at home. But man, it's fun. We're doing into different sports and stuff like that right now, and I try to help out when I can. And so it's fun just seeing the kids, grow from. Again, I relate it back to the seeds. You got to baby these seeds all the way up, and you teach them, and you watch them, and you take care of them, and you do that, and you hope that they, produce and be good. That's the same thing that I want with my kids.
So what ages do you have?
I got a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and 2-year-old.
Wow, all pretty young.
Yep.
So what sports are they doing right now?
We got some cheer going on, some gymnastics, flag football we just started, and baseball.
Okay, so then I'm going to guess 1 girl and 2 boys?
No, 2 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
Yeah. The youngest is still, she's just a crazy one. She likes to cheer them on from the side, but she'll be in that stuff.
So she's cheering
next.
too, just in a different way.
Exactly.
Did you meet your wife at Cal Poly then, or
no?
is she Bakersfield too?
Yeah, she's from Bakersfield. we knew each other in high school. She went to a different high school, and we kind of went off and went to different colleges, and then kind of came back and connected after college. So
Nice.
yeah, man, it's great. I'm the lucky one. She's the one who takes care of the kids and does everything else and keeps us together. So yeah,
We all need a strong woman behind us.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So how does she play a role with inside what you do with like social media and things like that?
Sometimes she does, but a lot of times sometimes she gets annoyed because I'm trying to set up my camera and the lighting in the kitchen, and she's like, "Come on, we really got to make another video right now, babe. It's for the followers, you know." So yeah, we have fun with it, and yeah, it's all good.
Do you ever get recognized out there and she's like, "Oh my goodness"?
So one of the first times that this happened, I felt great because it actually, I was recognized. But we were walking through Costco, and we were checking out, and somebody came up to me, "Hey, you're the guy from Instagram, the Seed Farm Table guy, huh?" And I just looked at my wife and I said, "See, people recognize me now." She's like, "Come on," but yeah, man, it's fun. It's cool being out there and showing people what it's about.
It's awesome. So what is the big goal with your social media today? I mean, obviously you're promoting yourself. Were you able to get that lettuce into In-N-Out? Have you worked on that contract yet? Or
In-N-Out, I'm still coming for you. Okay, we're gonna make this deal happen. No, I haven't done it yet. They haven't contacted me, but I'm not gonna sit back. A part of the sales in me is gonna fight for it and keep on going. So, no, I think the main goal for this is to have a bigger reach than I can have without the social media part, right? Like I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can and reaching all these different areas within California, Arizona, or outside those states to work with the growers. So, and it's been good. I've got people that have reached out to me asking questions and eventually working with me and becoming a customer just because they saw my videos online.
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's fun, and that's the part. The part that I really love is just helping the farmers, helping the growers when they have issues and they're trying to figure out, how can I beat this, this disease that I'm having in the field, and I can come in with a solution from a genetic side on a seed perspective and say, hey, look, I know you're planting variety X, but if you plant this other variety here in the same field that has the disease resistance, you're going to be able to harvest the, your normal or even better boxes per acre, which can, fix your problem that you're having. So that, finding the solutions, working with the growers, man, that's the part that I love to do.
Yeah, I think it's cool is there's a lot of similarities between us, right? We've been known for having the social media presence as well. And really, I mean, we've just seen millions of dollars be poured behind these, anti-agriculture campaigns, right?
Yep.
Netflix puts on a documentary about, GMOs in food and X, Y, and Z. And, we've tried to combat back ourselves and say, we'll dump millions into it too and fight back, and we'll show that farming and agriculture's sexy.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. That's what we're trying to do.
Man, I mean, we have no problem out there making some noise and being loud and not caring about it at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're on the same mission of making sure that a consumer understands how many people touch that food.
Yeah.
All the different companies that are involved with it. That this is people's livelihood around here.
Yeah.
I mean, if we lost agriculture, we'd be losing the Central Valley.
It'd be
as a whole.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
People have no idea.
Yep. Yeah, and I think, I may be a little biased, but seed is the most important part of the process, right? And now, a lot of people will be upset about that, and I say that in a joking way, because coming from the farming background that I had, I do know how important it is for each of these other aspects, right? The ground prep, the irrigation, the spraying and, fighting the pest and the seed and then the sales part of it too. If let's say you have all that broccoli sitting out there and you don't have anybody to sell it, I mean, that's a problem, right? So it takes really all these different pieces of the puzzle, to produce a crop and get it to the grocery stores or to the end consumer. But again, I do go back to the seed thing because I do feel that we do all this research and development because we're trying to figure out, what the next best variety is, and, and how we can continue to improve the vegetable market by genetics and by seeds. And, again, if I go back to a grower and I can show him with research or from the field, trials that we're doing, if he plants one variety versus the other, he's going to have a better production with this other improved variety.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you that I think seed in the row crop world is the most important thing because
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. You look at the past and where we have come from, right? And we needed certain genetic moves to happen, or we would not be able to feed society today. Growers could not be profitable per acre,
Right.
or even try to break even per acre if we didn't have advancements in genetics. If
Yep.
our yields weren't increasing, if we weren't resistant to droughts and different things, we wouldn't be able to grow in a lot of these regions, which ultimately affects the whole supply chain. Like people think their grocery prices are high right now. Imagine if there wasn't genetics involved within that.
Yeah.
I mean, the hot term is like GMO, right? But I mean, everything has always been genetically selected. Whether it's been modified might be different, but it's always been genetically selected. You always chose the best things in the field, looking back hundreds of years,
Right.
and replanted with those similar type genetics.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how it is. I mean, there's a lot, like on that lettuce video that I did. I mean, I got thousands of comments, but hundreds of them went back to, oh, here's the GMO guy, here's the new GMO lettuce. No, it's not GMO, but it's been selected and bred for those specific characteristics that we're shooting for, So, I don't know of any vegetables out there right now that are being grown that are actually GMO, besides some of the, I think papayas or something like that, and maybe some squash or something like that. But I mean, anything
Very particular specialty market stuff.
Exactly. But pretty much any of the fresh vegetables that you can get at the grocery store right now, they're not GMO.
Yeah, it's a big misconception. Have you put forward on your page that conversation or not really?
I haven't yet, because it's a
hot topic.
It's a hot topic.
It's a hot take.
Yeah, and I go back to that post that I did, and I've commented with some people, and then it turns into this big thread, and I'm like, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time fighting with you over that, just because they don't understand. But I take that back and I say, okay, maybe part of my role here is to help educate the people. So let's go back and find a way that I can turn this into educating the consumers about the process of this.
Yeah, the people that comment and immediately start the fight, there's not much getting through to them.
Exactly. You can't do much.
Yeah, but there is a lot of middle ground consumers that just have no idea, and it's an aha moment when they see this is where milk comes from.
Yeah.
When they see, hey, this vegetable, this lettuce, this head of lettuce did not just appear in the grocery store. It came through a huge supply chain. It had to stay fresh. It has to hit market quickly.
Yep.
It's harvested, almost year round in different regions for this reason. We can't store this.
Yes, and that's the thing that's very unique about California and the areas that we're growing and farming. We can pretty much farm fresh vegetables year round. That doesn't happen in most of the other states because of the weather that they have. So here we're pretty mild, and we can transition to other places within 400 miles or so to grow the majority of the food out of these regions because of the cooler climates or temperatures that we have.
I've heard through the grapevine that there is some trials going on trying to move lettuce and different crops like that into states like Iowa or different things.
Yep.
But it looks like it'll just be a very seasonal crop for them.
Yeah, I think so.
And they don't typically, I don't know, I call it dry land farming. They don't typically irrigate out there. It's all about the rain, which I think makes it pretty difficult to farm lettuce.
Yeah, exactly.
So, have you seen that these crops are trying to go to other states? Has your company dealt with that Seedway about?
Yeah, I mean, I think we see some of these growers transitioning out of California into some of these other states, and I think that's due to a lot of the water regulations that's happening, right? If they can, carve out a few months of the year to be producing in a different state, that makes sense. I mean, they're going to do it because it all goes back to profitability, right? And providing, these quality products to these consumers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really expensive to do business in California, right?
Yeah,
I
heck
mean,
yeah.
Price of land out here, it's very difficult for a young person to get into that because you just can't afford the capital, the capex on getting there.
Yep.
Getting those operating lines and things like that, they're difficult. It's a cash flow game, and when you're a young guy in the highest market, the highest labor cost, the highest everything.
Yeah, doesn't make sense. You're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah. Have you seen that Arizona area really start to pick up quite a bit? Because I know a lot of pistachio guys, almond guys have tried to move out there as well in that Kingman area.
Yep.
But you see it still growing out there? It's kind of a next hot market?
Yeah, I do. I think there's more stuff that's moving out that way. But again, it's, they're limited on parts of their season because it is so hot there, right? So they can't farm year round like they can in some of these other areas.
Because the heat is too hot for lettuce and things like that?
Yep.
So that's when they move to the Central Coast.
Yes, exactly.
What do you see when that heat gets to, that 120 point? I mean, I love the state.
Oh yeah.
Lake Havasu is my second home, I'd say. But.
Yeah, I mean every year we try to push the envelope on how early can we plant down there, right? Because we want to get in early so we can create some of these markets. And we face the heat, and heat hurts the seed, right? Like even if you have the best seed that's 100% germ and you plant it, it doesn't want to move or germinate if it's 105 or 10 degrees. You don't want to do anything when it's that hot, So you can't expect the seed to do something. So yeah, I mean, the heat in those areas at those times are just detrimental to some of those crops. So it's very limited on where you can be down there.
Yeah, I mean, we see it here in the valley too.
Yeah.
With tomatoes, I think on tomatoes you might know better. Is it 90 degrees and higher you can't plant?
Yeah.
It's the same thing we have with when we're spraying, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it's over 90 degrees again. You can't spray.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see crews move at night, and most people don't realize that in the summertime it's a night game farming.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of tractors are moving at night.
We're all on alpha brain, just trying to stay up.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to see some jugs, go over to theagcenter.com. Click on shop and look at all of our line of fertilizer products from Penny Newman, from the Ag Center, and many more. Irrigation parts, PPE, whatever you need to keep farming this year is at theagcenter.com. Add it to your shopping cart, check out fully online, see it at your ranch soon. We'll help you keep farming this year. Theagcenter.com. So a lot of people will know who you are from social media. And in the ag space, there hasn't been a lot of what the average person would say as like an influencer or someone with a media presence behind what they're doing. Has that been different with growers and approaching them and saying maybe I saw you on social media? Do you see a big presence in that?
Yeah, I mean, there's some good parts about doing it, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to educate the consumers and help the growers on what their products are, what they're producing, what their vegetables are, and how they get from the fields to the tables. But again, farmers are very protective and secretive, so I'm very cautious and mindful about what I share on the social media. I don't say specific variety names. I don't say, the spacing that we're doing, or transplanting or direct seeding or what exactly we're doing, because at the end of the day, I want to protect, the growers and what they're, what they've developed and, in their programs.
But you want to be the voice for the grower too, to the consumer.
Yeah, exactly. I want to help because I think there is a gap in between what the grower's doing and what the consumer is getting. So I want to be kind of that bridge and kind of help explain to them what the grower's doing every single day. It's not just planting the seed and they walk away, and then 90 days later they're harvesting a crop and it shows up at the grocery store. No, it's every single day that these growers are committed to growing and producing high quality crops. And so again, I just try to become a part of that process. Give my followers and the people out there a unique experience that they wouldn't get anywhere else. And my stuff it's not scripted, it's very raw, but I think that's what makes me a little bit unique is I don't have professional cameras out there and photography. It's me and my iPhone, and sometimes if I remember to bring, the stand to hold my phone. Otherwise, it's just, mounted up on my truck or in the field somehow. So I think that, again, it's something unique. And I think, again, I try to capture in a quick 20 to 30 second what I'm doing that day. And it's not scripted. It's just I'm out walking fields every single day. I'm out looking at crops, working with growers every single day. I try to capture that and share that experience.
Well, I think what's cool about social media is you've heard of the theory of like 7 degrees of separation.
Yep.
Right? We're only 7 people away from knowing someone that does X.
Yeah.
Right? But now with social media, we're 1 degree away.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You can connect with a whole new consumer audience because you're, the cut and dry is you sell seed, right? Mm-hmm. You're the seed salesman.
Yeah.
But in reality, by the time that product hits a consumer, there truly is 7 degrees of separation, maybe more, between you and a consumer.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're the seed guy. You're the start of the supply chain, essentially, for that. And then it's going to a grower, a packer, a shipper. It's moving through transportation. It's going into a grocery store to hopefully end up. And I'm sure there's a million pieces I'm missing between.
Yep. Yeah.
But we're connecting so much faster.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're giving the people want it more than ever. People today, they want to know the story behind their food, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's the health concerns or just the process of getting the food, from the fields to the table, people want to know that story. and I'm just part of that puzzle, plugging that in and trying to share that experience.
So, is there any growers that you've seen on social media that you work with at all that have now been that next layer for a consumer?
Yeah, a little bit, but I still I just kind of do my own thing, and I try to, just be out there in the field and walking the fields and showing people. So I think, as I'm sure growers probably don't even know what I do or that I have a social media. So most growers don't, but
They're saying, I don't know what Instagram is
yeah,
still,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And, again, it's just, I try to work with them, and if they're open and willing to share what they're doing, man, then I'm all about sharing it to the people.
So, how did you get started in that space? 7 years ago, you popped up a camera and had an
Yeah.
iPhone 3GS.
Yep. Yeah.
And,
Had
and the iPod app had a camera next to
Yeah.
it, and you started clicking.
Yep, exactly. I think I was in a vegetable field, maybe in what was it? I don't know, maybe an artichoke field or a lettuce field or something, and I just took a picture of it with some good lighting and I posted it, and and every day just started to do more and more, and people gained interest and started asking questions and sending messages on how does this really happen or what's the process, and that's kind of how it really kicked off.
What's been the biggest takeaway now? You've had a couple clips go viral. I'm sure you see the negative impact of social media.
Yep.
People don't love what we do in the agriculture space
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
Does that stuff ever kind of beat you down, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think you hear it from everybody. Don't read the comments of your videos, and that's true because sometimes you can spend a lot of time reading all the comments. And as me, I'm not a big influencer. I don't have a bunch of followers, but so I try to be very personal with my people and comment back. But yeah, some of those videos maybe that have more views or more comments are just some people on there are not they're not portraying the right messages, and I try not to get caught up in that.
And so since then now, you also work with some other companies, right?
Yep.
So like ag gear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so you've just been able to find
Yeah,
common
man.
likeness within those companies.
And that's what's been cool about the social media stuff is that now I kind of have a bigger reach on what I'm doing for Seedway, as far as moving seed into other areas and just connecting with other brands out there. And I think every brand, right, today's world is to be on social media and find some people that are like-minded and can help them spread the word and help them spread the idea of their brand. So yeah, I connected with Ag Gear 2 years ago maybe now, and they're just a good group of guys out of Texas and creating quality. One of the shirts right here, quality shirts and gear for farmers, for ranchers, and they're doing a good job of finding the products and the things that work for them, So yeah, that's one. I'm working with Beck's sunglasses. They're another brand, right? That's just been awesome. They're all about the ranching and farming community and creating all these different styles of sunglasses and like
Love their sunglasses, but they do not fit my head.
Oh, they don't?
Dude, I mean, I'm 275 pounds of pure beauty, but they get a little tight on the noggin, man.
Well, I'm gonna talk with them. We need to do some XL sizes then, okay?
Dude, I love their sunglasses, but
Yeah.
man, my wife bought me like 3 pairs, and I'm like, I can't wear them.
These don't fit me.
Oh, dude, I got a big old head, right?
But yeah, I mean, so I just try to connect with companies and brands that are on the same page as what I'm doing, and again, if I can do anything to help them expand and grow their brand, man, I'm all about that. Again, that's what I'm trying to do at Seedway out here, and if I can help that with any other companies, I'm all for it.
So it's really been educating the consumer, bringing like-minded brands closer together.
Yeah.
Back to those consumers as well, because maybe we'll see an Aggregear shirt.
Yeah.
In LA, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's still fields out there.
Yeah.
But the agriculture space have really moved from there.
Yeah.
I know it's where it all started.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's all spreading out.
Hey, I appreciate you coming in and up here from Bakersfield. It's only a 2-hour drive. And
Yeah,
the weather's a little crummy.
Not too bad.
Hey, man, I hope that, the social media presence continues to grow. I think what you're doing is awesome. Educating the future, educating the consumer is so important.
Yeah.
But also, seeds are important too.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So I hope they see that you continue to grow, and appreciate you coming up here and talking a little bit with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This was awesome. Again, it's, what I want to do with Seedway is continue spreading the brand out here on the West Coast. And at the end of the day, we want to help farmers, right? Improve their quality, improve their produce that they're doing. We want to be a part of their program and give back and educate the consumers, you know? So that's kind of our goal we want to do, and we're going to continue doing it.
Hey, man, wait, a toast to that. A toast to good seed.
Yeah, heck
And a
yeah.
good crop year.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm alive, and I see things my thing and saying